Holden, did you hear some kids were skateboarding at Veterans Memorial Park? Now they're trying to make some laws about it?
You know I don't like getting involved in this kind of stuff. I want my channel to be a place where people can have fun and relax, unless something's just too outlandish for me to ignore. And besides, maybe those kids shouldn't have been skateboarding at Veterans Memorial Park anyway.
You don't understand. It's not just Veterans Memorial Park, it's the whole city. They're trying to ban skateboarding across the whole city, Holden.
Why do they always insist on forcing my hand? Hello, my name is Holden Hardman, and if you haven't heard already, there's been some interesting news coming out of the City Council regarding skateboarding. Per the reports, Councilman Brian Spencer proposed a ban of skateboarding at Veterans Memorial Park. This was a direct result of damages at the park exceeding about $1,000 because of some stupid kids that were skateboarding there. Way to go, guys. I already have mixed feelings about laws being passed that limit what a person can or can't do on public property, but I understand the concern here. That is until his motion was denied 4-1 by the other council members because they wanted, quote, a broader ban on skateboarding. I looked into Brian Spencer. I couldn't really find anything negative on him. He's actively involved in the community. He's helped restore some old buildings. He seems like a genuinely good guy. I really don't have any issue with the proposal as a whole. It feels like it was one of those, it didn't become an issue till it became an issue kind of deals. It's the other members, particularly Councilwoman Sherry Myers, who stated,
I'm going to bring an amendment that will prohibit skateboarding on sidewalks in the entire city. I don't see why it should be limited to just certain areas of the city, why the whole entire city should have a higher standard of quality of life and safe sidewalks.
You're attempting to place a ban on skateboarders without providing an alternative for them, essentially criminalizing skateboarding.
There are a lot of young people that enjoy the activity, and I hate to make criminals out of every teenager with a skateboard.
Already at our current public parks, skateboarding isn't allowed at many of them. But she was not alone in wanting to ban skateboarding across the city.
I would have liked to have seen, with like Ms. Sherry Myers, a more broader view of it than just in a particular area.
I know on the surface of it, this seems like kind of an odd topic to draw so much attention to, but I think it speaks volumes of the disconnect between our leaders and the youth. To act as though skateboarders are the reason your quality of life isn't so high, come on. And then to give this weird scenario about a skateboarder riding down the sidewalk and forcing someone to jump into the road to justify this stupid idea.
Because it's not going to matter where it's at when a young person is going down the hill and you're on the sidewalk and you're jumping off the sidewalk and they get killed because they're speeding on the sidewalk.
Not to mention local businesses like Interlight or Waterboys that sells a lot of skateboards. I work in a hospital and I get about 1 to 2 cases per week of somebody who is riding a bike being hit by a car. I don't see why we don't just ban people from riding bikes across the city. Improve the quality of life. Do you know how much it costs to get the dents out of my car after I hit somebody? Well, it's close to about $1,000. What's even more outrageous is that there have been plans to build a skate park specifically here in Pensacola for almost 3 years now. John Schell, who is the leader of a group called Upward Intuition, has even laid the groundwork for this project and has already raised a lot of the funds for it. And would you like to hear a little bit of irony? The Pensacola City Council actually approved requested land back in 2016 for the sole purpose of a skate park. Upward Intuition is a local nonprofit organization that is focused on helping the youth in Pensacola. The skate park that they're trying to finance is in memory of a guy by the name of Blake Doyle, who passed away in 2015. And they've raised about $250,000 for this project. My biggest concern about this whole thing is that in the midst of fixing up downtown, building a marina, charging absurd amount of money for parking downtown, we forget about a particularly vulnerable group of our population. If you want to build a bigger, brighter tomorrow, you cannot leave out your most valuable demographic. Suggesting taking away skateboarding in such a casual, nonchalant, no big deal way, I think is the surface of a bigger problem. It's not necessarily the skateboarding, it's just that you don't really care what the kids do so long as they just don't get in your way. So, to the leaders of our city, that isn't enough. So my challenge to our local leaders, especially in the midst of a re-election year, is this. Will you commit to serving the youth of our city as much as you have the rest of the population? Because it just doesn't feel like you have. And to be honest here, you have done an excellent job revitalizing downtown, building that up, and we don't want that to stop. But don't forsake this group among all the growth. Don't treat these kids as an inconvenience and as a nuisance, but figure out a way to incorporate them into the bigger picture. That's what leaders do. I don't want to put all of this burden on the city council members. That's not really fair. But what can we as a community do better? Let me know your thoughts on skateboarding in Pensacola. Let's continue this discussion in the comments. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Take care. So I found my old skateboard over here. Can you guess what my graphic is? Dragon Ball Z. Like you were surprised at all.